We shall never surrender.
One small step for man.
I have a dream.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
What's the status quo of your favorite quote? Professor Buzzkill explains all on Quote or No Quote.
Hello there, Buzzkillers. It's that time of year again. It's a patriotic time of year. Quotes, supposedly from the Founding Fathers, seem to rear their misattributed heads in the United States every year in the weeks surrounding July 4th. Before July 4th, after July 4th, Americans are often treated to a number of false quotations from George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and the rest of the boys, almost to give us inspiration for the rest of the year. You often hear, "The best government is that which governs least," attributed to Thomas Jefferson, the primary author of the Declaration of Independence and the third U.S. president. In fact, no less an American than the naturalist and philosopher Henry David Thoreau wrote in his 1849 essay on civil disobedience that this quote comes from Jefferson. And once someone as prominent as Thoreau applies a quote like this to someone even more prominent, like Thomas Jefferson, well, then we're off to the races. Despite the coffee cups, t-shirts, and posters attributing this to Jefferson and plaguing our commercial life, Buzzkillers, there is no evidence that Jefferson ever said this. It also doesn't come from Thomas Paine, who is sometimes cited as the original author. Paine did write, in his highly influential pamphlet Common Sense, "Society in every state is a blessing, but government, even in its best state, is but a necessary evil. In its worst state, an intolerable one." And that expresses the same idea, but just not as concisely. The real author of this quote is John L. O'Sullivan, the founder and editor of the United States Magazine and Democratic Review. He wrote it in its first edition in 1837, and it soon became the motto of that magazine. Sullivan is also the author of the phrase "manifest destiny," which he coined in 1847 to explain and justify westward expansion across the continent. O'Sullivan was a very prominent and influential editor in the 19th century, but he never reached the heights of Thomas Paine or Thomas Jefferson, and so the quote was somewhat orphaned. It's not surprising, therefore, that it drifted towards Jefferson. But now you know the truth, Buzzkillers, so go forth and spread the word. That's your manifest destiny. Talk to you next week.
Epicast.